Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to episode 146 of Friday Night Appointment with Fear, where we break down and review horror films and stuff like that. And this week, we've got a special treat. We've got a double bill, a Hammer horror double bill. I thought I'd brush off the old... Where is it? The old Hammer horror box set. The old Hammer horror box set. I thought I'd brush that one off. And we do a couple of Dracula films. The first two Dracula films from Hammer, even though the second one doesn't have Dracula in it. We're doing Dracula, a.k.a. Horror of Dracula, and The Brides of Dracula tonight. So I thought that'd be fun for us to do. Before we get into that, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. You know, so I've got the bandana on tonight because it's really warm again today. And I've got my little air conditioning unit and my bottle of cold water, and the ceiling fan's going as well. We don't have air conditioning in the UK. Maybe that'll change because we're starting to get a lot of hot summers in the UK now. So maybe we'll start getting air conditioning. Anyway, but that's by the by. Where were we? Explore the description for links for stuff like merch and me books. Are they here? Yes, they are. Me books on Amazon Kindle and paperback. Give them a whirl. And for other links for me other channels and my other websites, mercuryrapids.co.uk, thatoldyorkshiregeek.co.uk, etc. Become a member of the YouTube channel and you get early access videos and exclusive videos and stuff like that, and exclusive emojis in the chat. You can join us in the live chat as well if you're a subscriber. You've been a subscriber for a certain length of time. Right, so anything else? Let's make sure we're live. Yes, we're live on YouTube. We're live on... Oh, we're not. Hang on. We might be live on Rumble. Oh, pardon me, I'm burping already. Are we? Yes, we are. We're live on Rumble. And we're live on Twitch. Don't know why I keep doing Twitch. Everybody says Twitch is dying. Is it? I don't know. I never get any views on it. But I just keep uploading to Twitch. Or streaming to Twitch, should I say. But I never do games to Twitch. It's very rare I've done games to Twitch when it's a game platform, isn't it? But whatever. Right, is that it? Shall we get on with it? Horror of Dracula, right. A.k.a. Dracula. The British title, the American title was Horror of Dracula. Don't know why they changed it. Don't know. Maybe so there wasn't confusion with the Bela Lugosi one, the 1931 version, maybe. Obviously, an adaptation of Bram Stoker's novel Dracula, directed by Terence Fisher, screenplay by Jimmy Sangster. It's a Hammer film, obviously. It's a Hammer double bill. Stars Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, Michael Gough, Melissa Stribling, and another fella whose name I've forgotten. John Van Eisen, I don't know how you pronounce it. Carol Marsh, and various other people. Charles Lloyd Pack is in it as well. I think he's in Brides of Dracula. Is he? Let me just check. Is he? Oh, no, he ain't. No, he ain't. Never mind. Ignore me. I thought he was. I thought he played the Doctor in both of them, but he doesn't. It had a budget of only £81,000. Unbelievable. Box office of £3.5 million. So it did pretty well, didn't it, on its budget? £81,000. What would that? That'd get like an hour's worth of filming today, wouldn't it? In a modern film. But anyway, so that's Dracula, Horror of Dracula from 1958. It was the second of Hammer's horror films. The first being The Curse of Frankenstein. Then they thought they'd tackle Dracula, and after this they would tackle The Mummy, wouldn't they? Then they did The Mummy after this one. All with Christopher Lee in. All with in the Frankenstein. He played the monster, the creature. Then he played Dracula, and then he played the Mummy. So he's done them all, hasn't he? Wayne Grace is here saying blood. Yes, because Dracula likes his blood, doesn't he? Likes his claret. Anyway, is that it? Right, so we'll get on with Dracula, shall we? Obviously, we're not going to watch the film because YouTube will go mental and just shut the stream down and probably get rid of my channel. We're going to watch it in a series of stills. It is a review and breakdown and review, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to start putting that in the title, and then we're going to start putting it on the thumbnails as well, because we get idiots who go into the comments saying stuff like, this is a crap review, shelling as the film. when it's nothing of the sort. and never say we're going to watch the film, do we? Anyway, so I'm going to start putting it in the title, so that'll weed out the idiots. Probably not. Anyway, we'll get on with the film. As I said, we're going to watch it in a series of stills, and I don't know a huge amount about it, but I'll try and remember the bits and bobs I've learned over the years about how the film was made. I do know some little bits, little bits of trivia. But anyway, we'll get on with it. Right, so I will full screen this baby, and we shall begin with my stuff. Oh, I've got to pop myself down in the corner first, haven't I? So you can see it. Where the hell am I? I don't know what I'm doing. I might start yawning, by the way. I'm really, really tired. I'm at it already, look, 'cause I've said it. Woo! I'm really, really tired. I do apologise. I'm totally unprofessional. Now then, I've changed some of my things, and I can't remember which one. Is it that one? Yeah. Right, off we go then. Off we jolly well go. Add to stage. Right, off we go. Have I muted it? Yes, I have. Right. Here we go. Oh, I'll wait till the titles go on. Here we go. There's some sort of... I don't know where this bit was filmed, by the way. I know all Hammer films were essentially filmed within like a mile of Bray Studios, weren't they? But I'm not exactly sure. Hang on, where are we? Where this is? Is this at Bray Studios? Is it? Is it something they made for the film? I don't know. I'm just gonna. What am I doing? I'm looking at the wrong things here. I'm just gonna have a look at the filming location and see if it tells us. I don't know what I'm looking for. My mind's gone mental. There we go. It doesn't say. It just says Bray Studios. And for the country roads that we see, you always get carriages in these films. No, so I'm guessing it's somewhere out and about around Bray Studios. Or maybe even, they might have made it, I don't know. I assume they've made it. Anyway, off it goes. A Hammer film production. MCM LVIIIIII. Then we get Peter Cushing is the top star. Christopher Lee's way down. Hang on, where are we? There we go. Dracula. Because that's what the music says. Are you ready? Let's go back a bit further. Because it'll come on for that, won't it? You ready for the Dracula? Dracula. I forgot who did the music. Who did the music for this? James Bernard, of course. James Bernard. Conducted by John Hollingsworth. Shush. Right, so here we go. Oh, let's see where the other stars. There we go. Michael Gough, who's been in a billion things. Probably most famous these days has been Alfred in the two Tim Burton Batman films and in Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. Melissa Stribling, I don't know her from anything else. And Christopher Lee, he did a few things, didn't he? One or two other things. But with Christopher Lee as Dracula, he should have said, and starring Christopher Lee as Dracula, wouldn't it? But anyway, it didn't. And there's the other members of the cast. I think the most famous probably Charles Lloyd Pack. Is he Roger Lloyd Pack? Is it Roger Lloyd Pack? Dad. Trigger, innit, from Only Fools and Horses. Anyway, screenplay by Jimmy Sangster. Did a load of Hammer films loosely based on the novel by Bram Stoker. Really, really loosely. Take a lot of liberties with it, but anyway, it's more based on, I suppose, the stage play, isn't it? As was the 1931 version with Bela Lugosi. Director of photography Jack Asher. Apparently, it became quite expensive for him. I don't know why. It was known for his sumptuous colours, which became the trademark of Hammer horror, didn't it? The deep reds and all that. But there was a memo floating about, in Hammer, saying, I don't think we can afford Jack Asher anymore. But he did loads of Hammer films. But anyway, right, let's get there. There we go. Anthony Nelson Keys, and there we go. Directed by Terence Fisher. I was getting mixed up with the fella that directed the first James Bond film. Terence, what was his name? I can't really remember now. I'm going to look it up because it'll bother me. It'll bother me. Dr. No. 1962 film. Terence Young, yes. I always get Terence Young and Terence Fisher mixed up. I do. Anywho, where were we? Right, so there we go. Oh, well, we're having a look at the castle, won't we? And then it's showing us, hang on, a secret door that's not really that secret. There it is. And then Dracula's... it's not. Is it a coffin? Or is it... I don't know what you call it. A sarcophagus more than anything, isn't it? With his name on it. And there's going to be some claret dripping on it now. Some proper... What did I hear it referred to as? Was it Mark Gatiss that called it Kensington Gore? I think he did. There it is. Proper, red paint. It's probably got a number. Airfix paints. It's probably got a number, hasn't it? For painting it, model aeroplanes and stuff. Anyway, here we go. The Diary of Jonathan Harker. It's very, very calligraphing, isn't it? Anyway, so here he is. On his way to Castle Dracula. I don't think it's called that in this film. Oh, it might be. But anyway. Obviously, there's a carriage because it's a Hammer film. It's always got carriages in. Even in Dracula AD 1972, that began with a carriage at the beginning, didn't it? But anyway. Here he is. On the back roads of Bray, probably in the... I forgot the name of the forest. What do they call the forest? It's not Black Forest, is it? Because... Oh, did they call it that? It might have been called that. But not the Black Forest where you get the gatto from. Anyway... So, where we learn he's been booted out of his carriage, now he's got to walk the rest of the way to the castle. I love this shot. I actually love this shot. It's actually a matte painting, isn't it? You can tell. But it looks really cool, and we've got what's called a torrent. Oh, it is Castle Dracula. There's a torrent there. Look, there's somebody throwing buckets of water at it. I don't know, but it's whoosh. But there's no blue lights. I thought the budget can't go to blue lights for this. So just going over the gatehouse. He has a quick look down there. Obviously, in the book, he was there as like an estate agent sort of thing, a realtor, solicitor type of thing. One with Jonathan Harker, replacing Renfield. We don't get a Renfield in this, but replacing Renfield who gone mental, and Count Dracula wanted to buy properties in and around London and all that. But in this film, he's gone there as a librarian. He's been employed as a librarian, but he's there. He's got an ulterior motive for being there. Anyway, so we see the first set. They actually reuse this same set many, many times in this film. You can tell by the staircase. He's gonna go through this room. Come into another room, and it's exactly the same room, but they've just taken things out and got rid of these curtains and got rid of this lot. But anyway, so here he goes through it. Just lets himself in, by the way. Just doesn't even knock. Just walks in. It's not like a hello, anybody here? No. Anyway, goes through that other door. Exactly the same room set. Some of the stairs. Just got rid of everything out of it. And I think they reuse this set in Brides of Dracula, but I think they just move the stairs over to the other side of the stage. Anyway, so in he comes. Apparently his dinner's been set out for him. He's got a note. There we go. My dear Harker, I am sorry I was unable to meet you. Eat well and make yourself comfortable. Dracula. Dracula. Should have said D, shouldn't it, like in the 1992 one. D, which apparently Francis Ford Coppola just wanted to call that film that. Just wanted to call it D for some reason. Maybe after the game, the D the Vampire thingy. They're a game, weren't they, for the PlayStation 1? Anyway, right, so he's setting out his stall. Here he is. He knocks, because he's a clumsy bugger. He sets his stuff out. There we go. You see this little table with plate with the bread there. Just goes and knocks it off. Just knocks it off because he's an idiot. There we go. Boing! Because clumsy bugger, look. Boing. He does it on purpose, doesn't he? Anyway, so he goes to pick it up. And then, a buxom young woman appears behind him. It's Hammer. You've got to have a buxom young woman. There she is. Played by, can't remember, because I'm an idiot. I think she's just cast as Vampire Girl. Yes, Vampire Woman. Valerie Gaunt as Vampire Woman. Apparently it's really old. Not the actress, I mean the character. We'll learn that in a bit. There we go. Didn't hear you coming. And she's saying, help me please, help me escape from Dracula. He's holding me prisoner. And he's I don't understand. It's all frightfully posh. And she goes to bite him, I think. Is it this? No, she don't, not yet. Later on she goes to bite him. But then Dracula arrives, interrupts them. There we go. He comes gliding down the stairs. Because it's Christopher Lee and he glides everywhere, doesn't he? Should have put a sound effect in, shouldn't they? And all the candles should have gone. But the candles should have blown out as he went by. I wonder if they do. I didn't notice. No, they should have done, shouldn't they? The candles should have gone out as he went by. But he don't. Anyway, so he delivers the first of his 16 lines. He's got 16 lines in this film as Christopher Lee, which is more than he had in Frankenstein. It's fair, fair enough. But 16 lines. So there he is. And the famous line, here it comes. Well, I don't think it's famous. I think it's kind of clunky myself, but...
I am Dracula, and I welcome you to my house.
I am Dracula, and I welcome you to my house. Notice his eyebrows meet in the middle. I think that's described in the book, isn't it? I think that's all they've kept from the description in the book, that his eyebrows meet in the middle. I don't think he's got the hairy palms and the moustache, and he ain't got that, has he? We can see that. But anyway, kind of nearly has the widow's peak, a little bit, doesn't he? But people used to think that Bela Lugosi had the widow's peak, but as Dracula, but he didn't, did he? He didn't. He did have that in another film, didn't he? Which eludes me. I forgot the name of that film, but he did another film where he had the widow's peak haircut. But people always think Dracula has that, don't they? But anyway, Christopher Lee's got more of one than Bela Lugosi had. Anyway, so there we go. So they're all getting through the pleasantries, and it doesn't even do the "I don't drink wine" because it's Christopher Lee and he just speaks in a posh accent. There's no accent, is there, in this one? So off he goes, taking him up to his room. Here he goes. I imagine all these sets are actually in the same area as the big set with the staircase, and they're probably just making little sets in that, I imagine, to save money. But they're all very sumptuous sets, I must admit, and very well shot. Lots of lovely colours. It's the 50s, isn't it? The film stock they use, why can't they recreate it these days? I don't know. There was something about the 50s, wasn't there? And early 60s movies that had these amazing colours that they don't seem to be able to recreate today. Kind of romanticised filmmaking, isn't it? But anyway. Anyway, right, so there we go. It's settling him in, and so there we go. Off he goes. I don't know if he tells him not to nosy about the castle. He probably does, but he locks him in. Is it this way? Locks him in. Yeah, in a minute. In a minute, he locks him in. But first, he looks at his picture of Jonathan's fiancée, Lucy Homewood. There's no. What was she? She was Morrow, wasn't she? Murray, Lucy Murray, wasn't she in the book, I think. But there she is. We're going to meet later, but obviously he's taken with her. But there's none of this. Oh, she looks like my wife of many years ago. There's none of that going on. He just says charming and then locks him in. So he's now trapped in his room, and this is where he says, "I now must end this man's reign of terror." There we go, forever end this man's reign of terror. So obviously he knows he's a vampire, and he's out to sort him out. He's actually, he's in cahoots with Van Helsing. He's working with Van Helsing, who hasn't arrived yet. I may get through more than one of these bottles of water tonight, 'cause it's astonishingly warm. Sticky. Anyway. Right, so he's having a snooze. I think he hears the doorknob rattle. I think he hears somebody knocking at the door as well. So I think he opens it. I thought, hang on, it was locked. I'm sure he opens it. Does he? Yeah. But it was blooming locked, wasn't it? Maybe somebody unlocked it. I don't know. But you hear noises. And but anyway, obviously there's nobody there. So he goes having a mooch about. And this is where he's going to encounter the young lady again. There she is. All, heaving bosom and all that. Which is fine. But he's asking her, why is the Count keeping you prisoner? But then she wants to bite him. She keeps asking for help, but she just wants to. Here we go. She just wants to bite him in a minute. The bloody skip on this. Got to be careful. There we go. We see some teeth. And it's the first time we see vampire fangs on film, at least in mainstream film. Because obviously the Universal vampire films and Dracula films, I don't think they ever showed the fangs, did they? I don't think they did. I don't think they did. They never had blood either, did they? I don't think. But we're doing this. Anyway, she actually does bite him. She bites him. There we go. He's holding his neck. But in comes Dracula to interrupt her. And we see him all red-eyed. Hang on, I've missed it. I've gone too far. There we go. It's all red-eyed and fangs. So he's obviously been tucking into something. Don't know what. Apparently Christopher Lee could see bugger all when he had them horrible contact lenses in that make me cringe. Pardon me, what they call them? Sclerical, I can't remember what they call them. Where they cover your whole eye up. Ooh, makes me cringe. I'm terrible with eye things. I can't. Well, I can because I've got to. But when I go for me eye tests and stuff, and they put drops in, I freak out. I freak out. Well, I don't freak out, but you know what I mean. I don't like it. I've got sensitive eyes. And Justin's here, one of the best vampire films ever. Hello all, says Justin. Hello, Justin. It is a good one. I like it. My son doesn't like it. I watched it earlier on. He came down and says, it's rubbish, is this? That's what he said. And then he went, well, no, it's not, but I don't like it. Okay, fair enough. So anyway, so it throws her away, and there's no dialogue. It's just all like hissing at each other. But he's gonna sort him out. So and then off they go to wherever they're going. I don't know, but he wakes up in his room. Obviously, a bit worse for wear. So he's got to now go and sort out. There we go. He sees he's been bitten. He knows he's going to turn into a vampire. A vampire. So he's got to go and... it's daytime now, so he's got to go and sort out Dracula. But after he makes a notation in his journal, what does he say? It may be that I am doomed to be one of them. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, whoever finds my body does this, that, and the other. Puts me to rest, etc. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Justin. Very kind of you. $5 super sticker. What is it? Let's have a look, see what it says. It's applauding hands. It's a slow clap. Giving it all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Justin. That's hugely appreciated. Thank you. Speaking of monetisation, it's that time, isn't it? So we're going to do that. Before I go any further, it's membership gifting time. Yay! But I've got to go on to the actual stream. I can't do it from the studio, for the YouTube studio. I've got to do it from the actual stream because it's weird. Right, where are we? So just mute. Shut up. Just mute myself. So I shall gift five memberships is what I'm doing, because I'm not made of money. Can you do 5? Yes, you can. Thought they'd taken that option away. They haven't. Who will get these 5 memberships? We will see. They're probably the same people that always seem to get them, which is fine. We will see. Come on, Google. Get on with it. Has it done it? Your gift memberships have been announced in the chat. Right. Oh, Outcast Creative. Yeah, Lance. Michael. Quest. Gavin Blackburn. And Tim Rose. There we go. So that's the 5 new members. Cool. I will show that. Gifted 5 memberships. Right, where were we? Now that's out of the way. He's still doing his notes. Right, off he goes. He's got to go and find, because it's daytime, he's got to go and find where the know where the bastard has his lair. Whoa. He's not Keanu Reeves. Off he goes. Yes, he's gone. I think he's hiding his journal somewhere because it gets found. Is he hiding it in this shrine? Yes, he's hiding it in this shrine. It does get found later. But it's nearly sundown. He's slept almost all the way through the day, so he's heading into the cellar. There we go. He sees Dracula sleeping. Don't kill him. He goes for the other one first, and I don't know why. I know for plot, for reasons. That'd be the end of the film, wouldn't it? But he doesn't kill Dracula first. That'd be the logical thing to do, wouldn't it? But he doesn't. He kills her first with her ample cleavage. Sorry, I can't help it. It's there. I don't know if you saw it, actually. Yes, you did. Right. So, there we go. Deals with her. We don't actually see any blood this time. We don't see the killing blow. But we do later on. They're saving it, obviously. And as she dies, screaming. Well, she don't die. As she's laid to rest. Released from her torment. Screaming. Dracula wakes up. Dun, dun, dun. The suddenly looks at the window and it goes all dark. It kind of reminds me of Salem's Lot, the David Soul one from 1979. It's almost identical, isn't it, to what happens in there. So sorted her out. There we go. She's gone old. She's turned old. So she's obviously been there a while, hasn't she? But cool. I wonder who plays her, by the way. Who plays her when she's old? I'm curious. Is it on IMDb? Let's have a look. In all cast and crew, because it'll be uncredited, I imagine. No, it doesn't say, does it? No, it doesn't say, I don't think. No, it doesn't say vampire woman dead. You'd have thought. Should have got a credit, wouldn't you? You'd have thought. Poor lass. Tell you. Hollywood. It's a cruel mistress. Anyway, there she is. He goes over to Dracula now. Should have sorted him out first. And he sees the casket is empty. Hang on. There it is. It's empty. And the door's open. So he looks at it, and then we see the shadows disappearing. And then Dracula walks back in. So he obviously went out. He obviously walked out. And then thought, I'll come back in for a dramatic entrance. Because here he comes. There he is. And now he's going to get Jonathan. Because we see him. Hang on, where is it? There we go. We see him go. He's going to get me. Then we cut to the inn in the local village. They've got garlic cloves and garlic flowers hanging from the beams. They're listening to a. I don't know what they call these. It's like an old. I forgot what they call them. It's like an old record things. Giving it all that. Look, I don't know. Play. You can hear it. One of them. I don't know what they call them. One of them. So they're all listening to that. And he's the innkeeper. I don't know his name. Hang on. He's been in loads of stuff. Been in loads of Hammer films and other stuff. I think he's been in one or two the Quatermass films. I think he's been in at least one of the Quatermass films. Let's have a look. Innkeeper. Where is he? Landlord. George Woodbridge. But I know him mostly from one of my favourite things that I love watching. I watch it regularly. Whistle and I'll Come to You, the BBC ghost story from 1968. He plays the hotel manager, whatever. In that, it was just a bit like me, mumbles a lot. He's like, bathrooms, is him. So that's where I know him from. Anyway, they're all listening to that, all the locals. And Van Helsing comes in, although we don't know he's called that yet. But in comes Peter Cushing. Good day, sir. And stops the music, obviously. And said, I've got a room booked. I'm Dr. Van Helsing. Oh, of course, sir. Anyway, so asks for a meal, blah, blah, blah. I think he asks about Jonathan Harker. And say, oh, I've never heard of him. But then she says, oh, yes, I remember him. He asked me to post him a letter. And he went, oh, this letter. But and then he's saying, oh, shut up. So she goes, oh, sorry, I must be mistaken. Anyway, so he knows that they're all scared, because Van Helsing knows it's all about vampires, but superstition, nonsense. Anyway, he's going to have his dinner. She says to him, she's got the thingamabob, the journal. She said she found it in the shrine. So she went all the way up to Dracula's castle. Found it near enough, innit? I think it was by the roadside, wasn't it? And got it and brought it back. Anyway, so it's there. So she gives him that. So now there we go. Diary of Jonathan Harker. So now off he goes, setting off to the castle with his carriage, which for some reason, I don't know why, the carriage with its yellow and black paintwork, it reminds me of, remember John Pertwee's Doctor Who mobile from the early 70s? It reminds me of that. Anyway, so off he goes, checking out the castle. Here it is. They're just walking, don't they? Can you just walk into a castle? Don't you knock? And he goes, checks out Jonathan's room, because it must have said this was Jonathan's room, because I don't think he checks any other rooms. Maybe they were all locked. I don't know. You see, it's all smashed up. Don't know who smashed it up. Maybe Dracula. Don't know. But somebody's been through it, hasn't they, for some reason? Oh, we see that the picture of Lucy's gone, apart from a little corner of it. Anyway, so right, he has a quick mooch around, finds the door to the cellar, goes in, and we see that Jonathan, is it Jonathan? Oh no, the old lady first, and then he finds Jonathan over to the side, there we go, with his vampire teeth out. So he's got to see to him now, so he kills Jonathan. Doesn't show us doing it, because then we're going to cut to, there we go, to wherever they are now. I think they're in a nearby city. I don't know. I don't think it tells us where they are. They're not in London. They haven't gone back to England. They're somewhere nearby in Central Europe. Some weird European country that nobody's ever heard of. Justice says, always wondered where Dracula's castle is in this world. Kind of reminds me of Germany or Austria. Well, they were from Transylvania, wasn't it? There is an actual Dracula. There's several castles out there in Romania that claim to be Dracula's castle out there. But I think the most famous one is it called Bran Castle, that were owned by Vlad Tepes, wasn't it? I think that's the most famous Dracula's castle. But yes, it was Romania, wasn't it? That used to be Carpathia. And all that stuff with the Carpathian Mountains and all that over in Eastern Europe land. That's where the legends came from. But these Hammer films, and I think the Universal films, were just set in a fictional mid-European area or Central European, somewhere near the Danube. It's well like that, isn't it? Hungary, like I said, Romania, etc. And all places like that. Right, so he's gone. Sorry about the subtitles, I've gone wrong there, haven't it? So he's gone to see the Homewood family, who are not. They're obviously well off, but anyway, that's it. They've got English names, but they're living somewhere in Central Europe. But this Michael Gough as Arthur Homewood. That's his wife, Mina. And Lucy is his sister, who is engaged to Jonathan Harker, and he's gone to tell him that Jonathan's passed away, but he hasn't told him. I drove a stake through his heart and maybe chopped off his head. I don't know, but he's telling them all that. So obviously they distrust him, and so it was 10 days ago, and he cremated the body. And all that, so, but, he said, no, I'm very sorry, bugger off. So they're all, they've got to go and tell Lucy now, but Lucy's ill, apparently. She's been visited already, it seems. She's ill, so she's lying there, being all sweet, and, oh, I'm so ill, and all that. But, anyway, so, sleep well, I'll try. So they're all frightfully posh. Then as soon as they're gone, she gets a weird look on her face, and she gets out of bed and opens the window, bay doors, whatever they are, because they have doors in their bedrooms. in these films. I've never had a door in my bedroom in my life. I don't think I have. No, I haven't. I've had windows, but not a door. Well, I have a door on the inside, so I can get in and out. But you know what I mean. Not not one that leads outside. Anyway, so she opens up and she's waiting for there we go, for Dracula. And we see she's got the puncture marks on her neck. Yes, I did say Dracula. I'm going to call him that because I'm an idiot. Is he going to arrive? Is this where he's going to arrive? No, it's not. It's not showing us, is it? Meanwhile, at Van Helsing's pad, there he is, reading Jonathan Harker's notes. It was a bit of exposition about vampires, that they're allergic to light and you can kill them with a wooden stake and all that stuff. But in this film, he says they don't turn into bats or wolves. But then in the next film, he says some of them do. It doesn't exactly contradict it. You could always argue, because in this film later on, it's suggested that maybe they do, maybe they can, and he's wrong. But anyway, that name of the village. There, Klausenberg is the village near Dracula's castle. Anyway, there's the his butler. His famous. What's his name? Is it Jeffrey something? I'm probably getting it wrong. Yes, Jeffrey Bailden as the porter. What have I seen him in? I've seen him in loads of stuff. I'm going to check on him. Seen Jeffrey Bailden in loads of stuff. And I'm blanking. Cat Weasel. Of course, it was Cat Weasel one. Yes, he's been in loads in Doctor Who as well. Loads of stuff. But yes, Cat Weasel. Of course, that's who he was. That's who he was. In the old days, when I was a kid. Yeah, right. That's where I know him from. But he's been in loads of stuff as well. Anywho, yes, he was listening to a recording of himself while Peter Cushing, Van Helsing, and he said, "Thought you were talking to someone." "Yes, I was talking to myself." Anyway, so it's all confused because it's the back end of the 19th century where technology is happening. Anyway, a bit more exposition, crucifixes and stuff, and religious paraphernalia will work on them. And ultimately, death results from loss of blood. Peter Cushing's amazing. I think he's one of the greatest actors of all time, Peter Cushing. I love him. I think he's great stuff. Why was he never knighted? Why was he never Sir Peter Cushing? He should have been, shouldn't he? I think he got like an OBE or something, didn't he, at one point? But he should have been. Christopher Lee was knighted. Peter Cushing should have been knighted as well. At the same time. If he was still alive. I don't know when Christopher Lee was knighted. Now I've mentioned that. Anyway, never mind. Right, so she's back there. There he goes. He's arrived. Dracula. Going to come in and bite her. She's ready for him. Right, so the doctor. Here he is, the Dr. Charles Lloyd Pack. I thought it was the same doctor that we see in Bride of Frankenstein. And now I'm looking. Looks nothing like him. But we learn that she's very ill. This is forgotten. the child of their housemaid. What do they call it? Inga, I think. Is it Inga? Gerda? No, Gerda's the housemaid. Tanya. I think she's Tanya. Whatever. She's the daughter of the housemaid, and she calls Lucy Aunt Lucy. So she's very ill anyway. We'll see her again later. And yeah, there you go. Plenty of fresh air. Keep the windows open, the doctor's telling them. And thinks she might have anemia. So, I don't know, give her loads of liver or something. That's what you give people with anemia, isn't it? I don't know. Or iron tablets. Anyway. Right, so she's gone over to see Van Helsing. For some reason they call him Dr. Helsing. They keep missing out the Van for some reason. Is that his name, Van, in this? Van Helsing? Like Van Morrison? I don't know. Because the doctor says, "Would you like a second opinion?" She says, "I'll think about it." So she's obviously thought about it, and she's gone over to see Van Helsing. It's where she's telling him that she became ill about 10 days ago. Remember, Jonathan died 10 days ago, so that's where Dracula started out on his tour of vengeance against this family. Well, excuse me. He's called Dr. Seward from the book. But I don't think he runs a lunatic asylum in this film. Ooh, crikey. I've had a big thing of fish and chips today, and it's repeating on me. Every time the Dracula music plays, I will hear you going, Dracula. Yes, I will. You can't help, you can't unhear it once you hear it. Oh dear. Anyway, so it's going to go over and have a gander at Lucy. There he is, saying, you're going to be fine. And he sees the puncture marks on her neck. There we go. And says, we'll sort it all out. And that's where they call him Mr. Dr. Helsing. I think they call him that. Come on, where is it? Look at panting there, wasn't she? Look. They're going to show it. I'm sure they call him Dr. Helsing. Or whatever. They do anyway. So, he tells her, get loads of garlic flowers and stick them next to her bed and by the door and windows and keep the window closed at all time and then we might be able to save her. Do this and she will live, otherwise she will die. He kind of just said that. I think, there we go. If you don't, she will die. In that Peter Cushing way.
She will die.
She will die. So off he goes. I will be back in the morning. Anyway, that night, she can't breathe for the pungent aroma of the garlic flowers. The garlic flowers smell? I don't know. Garlic cloves smell, don't they? But anyway. Justice. All that mushy peas. Bad for the... I did actually have mushy peas. But I couldn't eat it all. It's actually still in there. The chips. A lot of the chips. I ate the fish and most of the mushy peas. And some of the chips. I can't eat as much as I used to. But anyway. Right, so she can't breathe for them. So she knocks them over. And then the girder comes in, the housemaid. And is that the housekeeper? I think he's a housekeeper. That's what they call him. And says, oh, get rid of it. I can't breathe for these flowers. She says, oh, I'll get rid of them then. That's a bad idea. And I'll open the window as well, even though she's had strict instructions. Whatever. She's an idiot. And obviously then Dracula comes and finishes off Lucy. And then Dr. Seward's back. And now Lucy has passed away. And so they're all sad. And here comes Van Helsing, has a look at her. And she's saying, oh, it's all my fault. She couldn't breathe, etc. Stream booze here, yeah. From Twitch. She says, oh, it's all my fault. And technically, yes, it is. I knew, but she couldn't. I know I shouldn't have removed the flowers and opened them, but she couldn't breathe. And all that. But anyway, so she's all sorry. And said, well, sorry won't bring her back to life. Well, he doesn't say that, but... that is thinking it. So he explains to them that it's a vampire and all that stuff. He gives them Jonathan Harker's diary. Read that, it's all in there, he says. So now they're now pondering about what to do next. Anyway, that night there's a knock at the door. Policeman arrives with little Tanya, the little girl we saw earlier. And I don't get the timing of this scene, to be honest, because later on, there's a thing later on where we'll get to it, where it kind of contradicts what happens. I don't know if this should have been, or they should have changed the line later on. I don't know, but she's all upset. She was out by herself, and somebody came up to me and told her, let's go for a walk. And she says, and then somebody came and she ran off. And he said, who ran off, Tanya? Who? It was Aunt Lucy. So they're all like, oh no. Aunt Lucy's dead. So, here comes Michael Gough. I forgot his name already. Arthur comes down now. Notice, hang on, let's have a look again. There we go. Notice the set. Obviously, it's not. It's gone to the cemetery, the graveyard, which they've just redressed. The Dracula's castle set. You see the staircase there. Put a bit of dry ice about, some gravestones, some leaves, sorted. Proper filmmaking, innit? Anyway, he's going over to presumably the family crypt, and he looks in the, whatever this is, sarcophagus, I'll call it that again. And she's not there, is Lucy. It doesn't show us, does it? But, well, it does, but there we go. She's not there, she's out a wandering. She's there looking there. Oh no, is that Tanya again? What's she doing wondering about it? Woods. Yeah, it is. She's not learned a lesson for the kids, eh? Anyway, so she's out wandering in the woods. Aunt Lucy's there. She was terrified earlier about Aunt Lucy, and because she knows Aunt Lucy's died. But she's there looking in the woods saying, "Come to me, Tanya. Let's go for a walk and I'll drink all your blood." She's taking her back to her coffin for a late night snack, look. Says, "Oh, look, dear Arthur, you know, I could have drunk your blood later." But then Van Helsing arrives with his crucifix, and there we go, presses it against her forehead, leaving her burn, because it's cool. There we go. Ah! So she goes running off, she jumps back in her sarcophagus. Poor Tanya's there. Van Helsing goes over, puts his coat round her and gives her the cross and says, "Look after this. We've just got to go sort out Aunt Lucy, and then we'll take you home. Okay. If you hear any screaming or blood spraying about, don't worry, everything's fine." So anyway, but he doesn't do it in front of her. He says, "Actually, yes, this is the bit. Actually, I've watched her tomb each night since she was interred 3 days ago." And he says, tonight she ventured out for the first time. Which is not true, because earlier on Tanya had said that she'd seen Lucy, it must have been 3 days ago, or whenever it was, before tonight, wasn't it? Unless it was tonight, unless they were just, I don't know. I don't know, but unless everything's happened in the last half an hour. Anyway. He tells her to take the kid home and then come back, and then we're gonna drive a stake through her heart, and not chop off her head, because it's not Anthony Hopkins. But there's no other way. Anyway, we see some clarity here now, so he's gonna drive the stake in. Hang on, there we go. Hey, scream! I bet audiences were shocked back in 1958 with that, but they were, I bet they were. But it does the job. It doesn't have braid in and all. There we go. Look at that. Look, it's down there. We're up here with the thing, and then this. Watch this one. It really goes. It goes all the way through her a bit. Don't look. Bloody hell! Comes out through the other side and everything. But it did the trick. And they go and look at her, and she's at peace. If it shows her, there she is. She's at peace, and the burn's gone and everything. So Lucy's gone to heaven. Right, so now Arthur's, believes him. He's now a vampire hunter with Van Helsing. So they've got to go and find Dracula. And Van Helsing tells them Dracula's basically getting his revenge, because Jonathan killed Dracula's bride at the castle. So Dracula came for Lucy in revenge and wanted to take her back, whatever. But now we'll go for Mina, won't he? Now we'll go for Mina in a bit. But they've got to go and find Dracula and stuff. There we go. All right, says, yes, when he went to Dracula's castle, we didn't see it. The skip missed that bit, didn't it? But when he went before to Dracula's castle, a carriage came out as he were going in. A carriage came out, and it had a white coffin on the back of it. So that's what he's saying now. A hearse came tearing through the gates and had a white coffin on. I believe that was Dracula in there. Always smoking, in Peter Cushing. He was a right chain smoker. But he used to, when he wasn't filming, he apparently used to wear white gloves. Either white gloves or use a cigarette holder, because he didn't want to get nicotine stains on his fingers. But he was a chain smoker. I'm surprised he lived as long as he did. But anyway. There we go. It contained Dracula. And so he's got to find out where he were going. So it must be just over the border, because they've got to go to Inkstadt. So where they live Must be over the border from, I forgot the name of the village already, where Dracula's castle is. So it must be in a different country. But within carriage distance. So they've got to go to Inkstadt, where the border customs thing is. So off they go, there we go. And they've got the fella out of bed. And he's saying, oh, it's highly irregular, I can't tell you all this stuff. He says, oh, but I'm a doctor. He says, I don't really care if you're a doctor. And then Arthur Holmwood gets some money out and starts paying him money. And he says, okay, fair enough. But while they're doing that, a young boy appears, knocks on the door. Got a message for you, missus. Yeah, he's actually like that. Nearly clicking his heels. Got a message for you. Got to go meet this fella at 49 Ingolstadt or whatever, I don't know. I think it's Frederiksstrasse. It'll probably say in a minute. There we go. Frederiksstrasse. To go straight away and not tell anyone. He said, oh, who gave you this message? I don't know, some bloke called Arthur Holmwood. No, my Arthur Holmwood's in Ingolstadt. Well, I don't know, he's at 49 Frederiksstrasse. That's what he said to me. Anyway, see ya. And off he goes. So she's gonna go there to 49 Frederiksstrasse, which I think is a funeral director's when we see it. Anyway, so they get they've bribed him so they can now look at the records, and they get the address 49 Frederiksstrasse in Karlstadt. J. Marks, that's where we see it. So there we go. Undertaker and Mortician. Right, so she's arrived there. Just walks in. Nobody knocks. Maybe she does knock. I don't know. Does she ring a bell? Is it a bell? Oh, why, she's ringing a bell. But nobody answers, so in she goes. Oh, no, she's having a shufty about outside first, isn't she? She sees Dracula's white coffin. And, oh, no, here he comes. He's getting out of his coffin. And he's going to get her, isn't he? We know that. We know that. Anyway, next morning, they've come back from Ingolstadt because they told us, you know, we can go there and be back by morning. So it's morning now. And there's Gerda. She's not even it's that early. She's not even dressed, but it's light out. She's giving them, I presume they're having coffee. Don't know. Could murder a coffee. Haven't had one all day. Anyway. So they're going to go and to check out 49 Frederiksstrasse. And he says to Gerda, go and tell Mrs. Holmwood that, you know, we've been and gone. If she, you know, she goes, she's still in bed, and they go, she's not there. There you go, she's not there. She's not in her room. But then in she comes, looking all as though she's had. Well, the direction from Tennis Fisher was, come in, looking like you've had the best sex of your life. So that's what she's looking. She's glowing, isn't she? She's glowing. So he says, hello. I don't know if she says where she'd been, but I didn't expect you back so soon. I was out with, I don't know, prostitutes or something. Oh no, I went for a walk in the garden. Anyway, because something's up and she's covering her neck up. I wonder why. Anyway, they're going to check out 49 Frederiksstrasse. Oh, this is the fella, I think. I think this is the fella. I think he is in Brides of Dracula, but not playing the same character. Let me check. Undertaker. Yes, Miles Mallison. Yes, it is him. And this is playing the Undertaker. Mark's the Undertaker, but in Brides of Dracula, he plays Dr. Tobler. Yeah. Wonder if he makes Toblerones. Don't know. He's one Dr. Tobler. Yeah, I knew we were in both films. I knew I'd seen him twice. Pardon me, and this is The Undertaker. Anyway, so he's telling a little anecdote about, you know, mortuary humour, Undertaker humour. So, there we go. We see the coffin's gone. That they're asking about a white coffin that came from Karlstadt or whatever the hell it's called, and it's disappeared. Ooh, this is extraordinary. It looks like he's got a toupee on, doesn't he? But you know, I'm not sure he does, because in Brides of Dracula, he leans over somebody, and you can see it doesn't look like a toupee, but it just looks like one, doesn't it? Anyway, I knew it was there because I saw it only yesterday, he says. Anyway, so they will go back home and ponder what's going on. What are you to be mysterious about? So, anyway, they've got to wonder where he's gone. They don't know where the coffin is, but Anyway, so they're going to go hunting for it, and they're looking on the map, seeing where they might have put it. Maybe like, in an unhallowed church or whatever, something like that. But it says, while we're gone to Mina, wear this crucifix, and she flakes out. She flakes out as she holds it, and Van Helsing takes the crucifix out of her hand, and we see it's burned onto her hand. Is it going to show it, for God's sake? There we go. It's burned her hand. A proper burn mark, although that later on that turns it looks like it's been drawn on in marker. But anyway, never mind. Never mind. Anyway, so they've got to come back to the graveyard set for some reason. Maybe they think he's gone into where Lucy was. I don't know. But they're watching the house. That's it, because the graveyard must be right outside the house. But they're making sure nobody, that Dracula doesn't come back to the house. But he obviously does, because she goes and opens the door. Oh no, the doors are locked. But he's there. Somehow he's got into the house. Presumably it's because Lucy invited him in, but he's got in there without them seeing him somehow. So up he goes, and he's now going to get her. Here we go. You notice the change in picture quality, by the way. You see him there. He's about to get her. Shows his fangs. She's full of anticipation, isn't she? And that's where, not that one, there, is where it cuts. It cuts to an owl screeching, because the British Board of Film Classification said, that's enough of that kind of thing. We'll cut to the next scene. But they found a full copy of it, and that it were added in. So that's why the film quality is a little bit different. It's a bit more grainier, isn't it, this? Because I don't know where they got the footage from. But there we go. And we show him actually biting her, but the censors of 1958 thought this was all a bit too raunchy for the British public back then. But and then it cuts to the owl screeching. There's a scene here actually. It looks like David Duchovny. I think he does. Is it where he looks up here? There. When he's like, it looks like David. I think it looks like David Duchovny. Fox Mulder from the X-Files. I think he does, but we'd like a coloured hair. Anyway, whatever. So the thing, he's obviously not coming. The sun's coming up. He's not come today. But then they hear Gerda screaming, "Oh, Mina!" And they go running in, and we see that she's been bitten. She's lost a lot of blood, so she's the old blood transfusion scene. I'm not a medical expert, but do you have to be the same blood type? Maybe they are. Maybe they got lucky. So Arthur's giving some of his blood to her. I don't know how much. Probably an armful. Gone all. What they call him now? Oh, that comedian. A pint. That's very nearly an armful. That fella. I forgot his name now. Answers on the postcard. Giving some blood to Lucy. And I imagine, because it's Peter Cushing, I bet he went to doctors and said, right, how do I do a blood transfusion? Because he was meticulous like that with Peter Cushing. He did his research. That's why he was a great actor. And added verisimilitude to all of his roles. He did. Anyway, so I think she's going to be okay. She's going to survive. Should have done the blood transfusion to blooming Lucy, shouldn't they? Did they sell Lucy before? Mina. Should have done the blood transfusion to Lucy, shouldn't they? But anyway, right. So, all right. He tells Arthur, go and have some tea or coffee, or even better, wine. So he's going to go downstairs and get plastered. Anyway, while he's sorting all that out, and he's going to have some wine as well. Right. Yes. And while they're talking, yes, he says, Arthur gets up and he says, will you fetch some more wine from the cellar? And she says, I can't. I promised, after what happened with Miss Lucy, I promised Miss Mina I wouldn't disobey orders again. I said, what are you talking about? Well, Miss Mina told me, under no circumstances should I go into the cellar. So up jumps Van Helsing, goes running down into the cellar. Pete's sake. There he is, running down into the cellar. No, it's not this way. He leaps over the banister. Looks in where Dracula's casket is. There it is. Not in there, obviously. But Dracula's there behind him. It always makes me laugh, does it? Because he just comes in and is like, bloody hell, Van Helsing's there. And he goes, I go running off. Slams the door behind him. Anyway, so he leaves his crucifix in Dracula's coffin. But he can't get out, the door's shut. But Arthur comes and lets him out. She's like, oh, it was like a demon, it was like the devil. He just carried off Miss Mina like she was a baby. He does slap her, I think, here. It gives her a good crack round the face. Does he? Because we all want to see an old biddy getting slapped, don't we? Here we go. There we go. I think it had a relevant sound effect as well. Anyway, so off they go in hot pursuit because it's taking her back to Dracula's castle. So off they go. They find a dead body. It's a coach driver. So Dracula's, hijacked a coach. So off they go in his horse-drawn Hoomobile. Anyway, so off they go. Oh, the back up the customs thing. Is it going to show it? There we go. The douane, the customs, is there with the gate down. Never shows the horses smashing through the gate, but it cuts away, and then we hear it, and then we cut back and see the gate broken. There we go. And then it fixes it really quickly because they're coming as well. And again, they smash through the gate as well, but it doesn't show it. We just hear it. I'm sure the horses are fine. And then they get at the castle. For some reason, is that Christopher Lee or just somebody pretending to be Christopher Lee? Doesn't look much like him, does it? For some reason, he's burying Mina alive, and I'm not exactly sure why. I don't know. So there you go, burying her alive. Oh, he's like, oh, crikey, what are you burying me alive for? I don't know why he's doing it. Anyway, he gets interrupted, obviously. Look! No, he's not saying that, they're saying that. So they go chasing after him. Through the castle. And he decides just to throw a candlestick at Van Helsing, just for no reason. Nice fist fight, good bit of action. He's throttling Van Helsing. Actually, it does a good... Is it this one or is it later? No, it's in Bride of Frankenstein where there's a really good throttle. There's the vampire in that. But anyway, he kind of passes out, but then he doesn't. Then he comes round and knocks him off and gets up again, and the fight continues. And he looks over the famous scene in the film where he glances over at the curtains and sees a sliver of sunlight through the curtains. So hang on, where are we? So here we go. Goes off running. This is Peter Cushing doing this, action star, which he was back in the day, wasn't he? He was an action star. Whee! Rips the curtains down. Yes, ace. And Dracula's foot starts dissolving. I think there's some scenes here as well where they were cut out of the the original theatrical release, which were added back in later years. But obviously his foot's caught in the sunlight, it starts dissolving, and he tries moving out of the beam of sunlight, but Van Helsing gets it. Because you could just make a cross out of anything and it'll work, apparently. So the X-Men are safe from vampires, aren't they? Anyway, there we go. He's forcing him back into the sunshine. And we see here now. We see the qualities change. So I think we're going to see a gory bit. I thought it was quite gory, actually. Not that bit. Any minute now. Oh, that's coming up. But we saw his hand going as well. Here we go. This bit is quite gruesome, isn't it? Ripping the skin off his face. 1958. Quite gruesome. And then he starts melting. No, not melting. Turning to dust. And I think that's like a glow. Is it just the lighting? It might just be the lighting. It looks like there's a glow in his eyes that seems to go out. There. You see it? Or is it just the lighting? I don't know. Yes, it is a great scene. Sorry, Justin, I did miss that one. I was just reading blood transfusions were not always required to be compatible. All right, fair enough. That's it. I'm not medically trained, so I don't know. Anyway. And Dracula dies, and then the burn that has turned into a magic marker cross disappears. There, off it goes, look. Slowly. She'd been baking. It looked like it, didn't it? There was a bit of flour on her hands. So she's back to normal, and he has turned to do. And obviously, a wind blows across the room, and this is this his hair? Look, hang on, where are we? Is that his hair? I don't know. Presume it's off his head, or it could be off his chest. I don't know, but off it goes. It blows away. Yes, I believe light effect eyes. As I don't know. Well, I don't know if it actually had lights in them, or if it was just like external lights, moving or turning off. I don't know, but it looked cool. I thought it looked cool. I noticed it. Anyways, it's dissolved on a. It looks like a zodiac thing. This, doesn't it? Looks like it. Yes, it is. Yes, a zodiac design. Why? Don't know. So that's the end of Dracula, and I think that's the end of the film because his job is done. All right, Dracula is there we go, blown away. Should be like the end of Flash Gordon, shouldn't it? So just on another hand, pick up the ring and go the end ? Be done. And there we go. There we get the cast. Dr. Van Helsing. That's all we know him as. He Abraham Van Helsing? I think he was, wasn't he? Hugh Jackman were Gabriel Van Helsing, wasn't he? But I think in one of the Dracula films, I think we see J. Van Helsing. I can't remember which one. Anyway, so there we go. So that's the end of Dracula, a.k.a. Horror of Dracula. Great film. I really like that film. Really, really good. And, along with Frankenstein, sparked off Hammer horror for the next nearly 20 years. Great stuff. Because their last film, what was it, To the Devil a Daughter, was that 1976? They're still going now, because they've been reopened, haven't it? But it's not the same, is it? But there we go. So that's Dracula. Really, really cool film. Just to say, it was cool. Yes, it is a really cool film. A hand should have picked it up, and then Vincent Price laughed. Yes, it should have. Ha 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 ha. Dracula. That's how it should have ended, shouldn't it? Oh dear. But yeah, great film. Love it. And I think you can. It's out on Blu-ray and DVD, and I think it's on Amazon, both in America and the US. I think it's on YouTube as well to rent or buy. Great film. So we'll move on to our second in our double bill. Let me get rid of that. I'll move myself up a bit while I sort the stuff out. The Brides of Dracula, sometimes just called Brides of Dracula. I think some of the posters just said Brides of Dracula, missing out the at the beginning. But anywho, let me find it. Where are we? Which apparently is not available for streaming in the UK. It is in America, but not in the UK. Oh, pardon me, burping. Right, so we'll get on with this one, because this is the sequel. This is the sequel to Dracula, aka Horror of Dracula. Came out in 1960. But Christopher Lee didn't want to appear as Dracula in it. So that, I think scripts had been written and all that, but it meant they had to rewrite the scripts, so they didn't have Dracula in it. So it's just, Dracula by name only in the title, because it's not in it. Apparently he didn't want to be typecast or something, did Christopher Lee. But then he appeared in like a million more Dracula films, not just for Hammer, for other, studios as well, particularly in Europe. But anyway, so we'll get on with the Brides of Dracula, shall we? If I can remember what to do. I'm stupid. There we go. We'll get on with the Brides of Dracula. Universal distributing this one. Right, there we go. Peter Cushing in. This doesn't have. Does it have? I don't know if it has the same music, but. Let's have a listen. I can't remember if it's Dracula or if it's something new. Let's have a listen. No, it's new, innit? It's a different one. 1960 by Hotspur Films. It's not. It's Hammer. There must be some legal reason that they're doing that. Anyway, so it's Peter Cushing in it again as Van Helsing. That's Frida Jackson, who for some reason I thought was a dame. I thought it would, I thought she became a dame later in life, and I looked it up. She didn't. I was thinking of Flora Robson, who also appeared in Clash of the Titans with Frida Jackson. She was a dame. I'll get it mixed up. Anyway, Yvonne Monlauer. I don't know how you pronounce it. Yvonne Monlauer. I don't know if that's how you say it. It was a French actress. She's that kind of the female lead in this film. But anyway, so off we go. Right. My music's different. It's not James Bernard. That's why it's not Dracula. It's Malcolm Williamson this time. Got Jack Asher back again. So for the sumptuous colours. And directed by Terence Fisher once more. Right. So we begin, obviously, with a carriage. Wow. And a voiceover saying, Dracula, Count Dracula is dead. I don't know who's doing the voiceover, by the way. Does it say? So let me get rid of some of these. By the way, Brides of Dracula, I forgot to go through the info, didn't I? Budget, $120,000. So it had a bigger budget than the first one. But I don't know the box office. It's just got a number for admissions in France. So that ticket's sold, isn't it? But that's just France. So what's the point in telling us that? Tell us the box office. Kine Weekly included the film in their list of money makers at the British box office in 1960. Right. Does that mean it was in the top? I presume that means it was in the top money makers for 1960. But it doesn't say how much it made. Don't know. Anyway. Anywho. I'm seeing if it mentions about Christopher Lee not appearing in it, because we know he's not in it. But I'm sure I've seen somewhere, that he didn't want to be typecast as Dracula, and then appeared in, like, as I said, a billion more Dracula films. But anyway, whatever. They rewrote it and got on with it. Obviously, begins with a carriage, because they always begin with a carriage, don't they? They're going through the woods near Bray Studios. I presume it's near Bray Studios again. Just let me check. Then we scroll down to where are we? Filming locations. Black Park. That's it. Not the Black Forest, Black Park. Near Bray Studios. A bit of location shooting. Oakley Court on Windsor Road in Windsor for the Chateau Minster entrance. But everywhere else is at Bray Studios and Black Park. Anyway, this is I forgot the name of the character. I'm an idiot. I forgot. Marianne. Marianne Danielle, Yvonne Monleur as Marianne Danielle. Who has a lovely voice. She's a French actress. She has a lovely French accent. She's not dubbed. I was surprised, actually. I did check. I don't think she's dubbed. I haven't found any reference to that she's dubbed, because they did it a lot, didn't they? In the 50s and 60s and 70s. Dubbed their actresses. But anyway. The carriage is bouncing about. We see it's Michael Ripper is the carriage driver, and he's wanting to get where he's going quickly. So he's saying, "You're going to slow down a bit," and he just ignores her. But then they stop, and he gets out. He thinks there's a dead body in the road, but it's not. It's just a log. So he moves it, but the man comes out of the woods. Apparently, whoever this fella is had a bigger role, and then they cut it out. So it seems a bit superfluous, sort of, but it does play a role in the film. Justin says, he didn't want to be typecast, but he had a soul search and dived in, and he opened other doors by going back to Drac. Yes. Plus, a lot of the time as well, they pulled on his heartstrings, didn't they? Did the producers, Anthony Nelson Keyes and the others. And they said, oh, if you don't do it, all these people will be out of work. They used to say stuff like that, didn't they? And he went, oh, all right then. Anyway. And Adam Guest is here. Hello. Adam Guest. Adam Gamer is a guest. Is here. Good evening. Should be playing Tomb Raider, lad. Anyway. What was I saying? Oh, who's this character? What's he called? Does he have a name? Don't know. Does it say? Doesn't say. Don't know. But it appears here, and it appears... just did the live stream tonight. I will go and like it. Oh, Spyro. Why you flip-flop between these games, don't you? Anyway, he appears. I thought something was going to happen, but it doesn't. So he moves the log, and they carry on, and here they arrive at the Bray Studios village set, which I think we've seen in quite a lot of Hammer films. So anyway, here it comes. I don't know if it's a backlot set or if it's actually in a studio. I don't know. It looks like it might be in a studio, doesn't it? But I could be wrong. Adam says 61 subscribers. Cool. It'll go up. It will. It will. Before you know it. Anyway, so they arrive at the local inn in... I can't remember the name. I don't know if it's the same one. I don't think it's the same one from the first film, because we're not near Dracula's castle, but they talk about Dracula and they say his followers and his cult must be wiped out and all that stuff. So, but anyway. Oh, I see, that fella's back again, and he's paying Michael Ripper, the coach driver, some money. So I think he must be I don't really understand it. He must be working for the Minesters, who are the Draculas of this film. There's a baron and his mother and servants and stuff. So he must be a servant. And apparently he did have a bigger role, but it got cut down. When they did all the rewrites and stuff, it got cut down. And some of the stuff that were written for this film were actually used in another film, in Kiss of the Vampire, later. It was supposed to end with loads of vampire bats attacking, the vampire in it, to kill him, but they decided against that because they couldn't afford, they didn't have the budget for it, so they saved that for a Kiss of the Vampire. Anywho, so he's paying the coach driver some money, basically for him to bugger off and leave the girl behind, because she's just stopping off for a meal, and it's because she's heading to somewhere else, Badstadt or somewhere, I can't remember. So that's what she's saying there. There you go. Badstein, there we go. She's heading to a young ladies' academy in Badstein. But he's going to have a meal. Anyway, he comes in, and they're all like, oh, look, it's him. And says, you better go now. And says, oh, before the coachman leaves. Oh, he won't. The coachman knows I'm here. And then they hear him buggering off. So, oh, no, he's gone. Oh, no. So she's got to stay the night. She says, oh, I've got no rooms. Oh, well, whatever, we'll sort it out. Oh, I think it says, go into the farm people and the farm next door and get their cart. They mustn't have a cart. They've got horses, because he says the coach will change the horses for the coach. So, but anyway, whatever. Anyway, they hear a carriage arrive outside, and they open the door, and in comes, here she is, the Baroness Meinster, or whatever she's called. Oh, yes, that was right. Baroness Meinster, played by Martita Hunt. Justin says, I know he loved working with Peter. Yes, he did. He and Christopher Lee were like, a proper double act, and they loved each other, didn't they? Donald, you mean Donald Pleasance? I don't know. Vincent Price. He liked Johnny Depp, but his true friends were all dead, meaning Peter and Vincent. Donald. It was a sad interview. Oh, right, okay. Yes, because he appeared in Sleepy Hollow, didn't he, with Johnny Depp. And Vincent Price were with Johnny Depp in Edward Scissorhands, wasn't he? Anyway. Right, so she's arrived. The Baroness Meinster. And she's having a drink with young Marianne. And she said, come and stay at my castle. I'm an old lonely lady. Come and stay at my castle, and I'll see you get to Badstein by morning. But we know that's unlikely to happen, don't we? But he says, oh, okie dokie, fair enough. And obviously the locals can't do anything about it. So off they go in her shiny carriage. Why that was yellow? I don't know, but anyway. So there they go, up to the castle. Got to pronounce it like that, that's castle. So here we go. Here we see Frida Jackson, who I think is a phenomenal actress. She's really good in this. So you may know her from, she played the gypsy woman in Valley of Guanji, and she's one of the Stygian witches in Clash of the Titans. And she's done loads of other stuff as well, obviously. So here they are at the castle, which I think is just, a redress of the same set that that we saw in the first film. They've moved the staircase to the other side, haven't they? But it's still got the second floor, the lobby or whatever you want to call it, up there. Anyway, right, so obviously they've got to have a meal, and because that's a prerequisite. Taking her up to her room, and dinner will be ready in 10 minutes. And she goes and looks outside. She's got a balcony, and she sees a young man. She says, "Is there a young man out there?" This is David Peel as the Baronmeister, who were 40, I think, when he made this. Not exactly young, but anyway, she calls him a young man, and she goes back in and she says, I saw a young man on the balcony below. Because she thinks the Baroness lives alone. And whatever she's called, I forgot her name. Frida Jackson, whoever she plays. Greta. She says, oh, whatever. She doesn't let it slip who it is. She just goes, whatever. I'm not committing myself to an answer, she says, to herself. Anyway, so they're going down for dinner, and off they go. Oh, she goes and looks again, and he's gone. Because people aren't allowed to move in films, are they? He was just there a minute ago. Well, yeah, he's not now. He's moved off, hasn't he? He's gone somewhere else. Anyway, I've gone back inside. But anyway, she's having a dinner. We notice that the Baroness is not eating, but it's not because she's a vampire, because she isn't. She's not doing that, but she's guzzling down the whatever it is, red wine. First of all, is it blood she's drinking? But it's not, because she's not a vampire yet. But she hasn't got much of an appetite. She just says. That's where they're saying, I saw a young man on the balcony below. He says, oh, that was my son. He's not well, and I keep him. He's got his own rooms. He's mental, and but we've had gay times here. There we go. The subscribers, but anyway, so there's just them now. They used to have balls and dinner parties and all that stuff, and then her son drove everybody away with his madness. Now it's just them three, and she looks after him, just Greta. And anyway, so she says, I'm tired now, I'm buggering off to bed. So she says, okie dokie. And so she goes to bed. There's Marianne, who's super pretty. She's super pretty, isn't she? I must admit. Although sometimes she's one of those women that, I'm no oil painter, I know, but at some angles, it's a bit like Denise Crosby in Star Trek. Tasha Yar. She looks like she's got like a 5 o'clock shadow on the top lip. But anyway, that may be as it may be, but she's gorgeous. There we go. It looks like she's got a little bit of a tash there, doesn't she? Anyway, she needs waxing. She hears a noise, so she goes and has a look outside, and she sees the young man again, standing on the balcony, looking like he's about to leap to his death. And she goes, no, don't do that. And had a fall, and so I heard somebody going, had gone, ah! But he doesn't. And she goes running down to that other part of the castle really quickly, and he comes back in, and he's saying, I can't come closer to me. And he says, I can't come to you. And we see that he's all chained up. Oh, he says, you are very beautiful. He says, but come closer, because I can't come closer to you. And there we see that's David Peel as the Baronmeister. I've no idea what else he's been in. Let's have a look. Has he been in other things? Hang on, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Where is he? David Peel. He's probably been in loads of stuff, but I don't know what. Brides of Dracula. Actually, Did he die or something? I don't know. Oh no, 1981 he died. He didn't appear in anything else after this. Well, he did. He was in a TV show, Hands of Orlac, and then a TV series, Amelia, and that was it as an actor. Did he move on to do other things? I've no idea. Lots of TV. 1950s TV, you know, on BBC and ITV. So there you go. And then he did this. And then 2 other things, and then nothing else. He was a writer as well. What did he write? Let's have a look. Don't know. Oh, there we go. Armchair Theatre. Yeah, he must have just retired, maybe. Retired. Oh, there we go. He retired from the screen to become a fine art something or other. Where are we? Where does it say? Fine art dealer, at which he excelled. There we go. Anyway, there he is, saying, come closer. I can't come close to you. And we see that he's chained up. Hang on, where is it? There we go. He's chained up. I'm guessing he's not chained up all the time, or unless he just keeps his trousers on all the time, or maybe when he goes to the loo or whatever, or showers. I don't know, but it must be, whatever. Don't overthink it, Steve. But she's obviously saying, it's inhuman. You know, your mother shouldn't be locking you up like this. You're obviously not mental. He says, well, she keeps a key in a drawer in her room. Go and get it for me. Okie dokie. She says, okay, I will. So, you know, she says, fine, I'll go and do that because I trust you completely. So off she goes. Into Baroness Meinster's rooms. Baroness Meinster's lurking about, as we can see. Baroness Meinster goes into Marianne's room and sees that she's not there. And she goes into her own room, and we think, oh, she's going to get caught, but no, she ain't. She closes the curtains, and we see that, she's out on the balcony. So she inches away across to her room, because Baroness's room just happened to be next door to Marianne's room. She goes, I found the key, good, throw it to me. So she ties it to a handkerchief and throws it over. And now he's free. There we go. Get dressed at once and meet me outside, he says. So, anyway, Baroness comes in. You've stolen a key from my room. Give it to me. And she says, no. I didn't. She says, I don't know what you're talking about. But she shakes her. Says, you know what you have done. And she goes running out, and there he is. Saying, help me. Says, come here, mother. And he sends Marianne to go and get dressed. He says, come here. He says, no, I don't want to. But he does because he uses his vampire hypnotising eyes. Anyway, she goes and gets dressed. And then we hear the Greta, Frida Jackson, going, he's free, oh God help us, he's gone, he's free. And as though she's like lamenting it, but later on she starts laughing. But anyway, never mind. She becomes his main helper, his human familiar. Anyway, there she is, look. Now she's laughing her head off. And starts speaking with like a northern accent for some reason. But anyway. I think it's this way. She's got like a proper...
Would you?
Would you like that? Would you? Anyway, whatever. She's a northern woman. She's from Nottingham. It's technically the Midlands, but I suppose it's northernish. Anyway, there we go. We see that he had a coffee. No, we see that the Baroness is there now in that room, dead. Is he going to show her? For Pete's sake. Where is she? There she is. She's in the chair. And she's dead. You going to show her? For whatever. The Baroness is dead, and she's got puncture marks in her neck. So she goes running off into the woods, and so she's talking away to herself, and we get a bit of exposition, 20 years since he became a vampire, essentially. And she's talking to the Baroness's dead body. But you spoiled him, and you know. Then one of his friends turned him into what he is, and all that. But anyway, and I was going to show her the Baron's empty coffin because he's got to come back before cockcrow. Anyway, Meanwhile, another carriage is heading. It's not got yellow on it by the looks of it this time. It's heading through the Black Park Woods and comes across Marianne's form out on the thing, and it's Dr. Van Helsing. Carl, let's have the travelling rug, will you? What the hell's a travelling rug? No idea. But he wraps it round. Says she's okay, and he does a bit of smelling salts and brings her round, and takes her into the village. And they're going to the local eatery that she was in earlier on, and apparently he had a room booked there. Apparently, I said, all right, fair enough. But in the next room, because somebody's they were closed, by the way, because somebody were found dead in the forest. This is a young woman, and they're going to bury her, but the local priest is away. But they're going to bury her in the churchyard without him. And so he goes and has a look, and we see that she's got the puncture marks. There we go. She's got the puncture marks on her neck, so he knows what's going on. Anyway. If only the priest was here, she says. Excuse me. Anywho, so he says, right, I'll take you to, I forgot the name, wherever she's going. I forgot the name, Bad Stein. It doesn't sound right, does it? Anyway, whatever. He's taking her there to a place where she's going to work as a teacher. Anyway, so she's telling him all about what happened at the castle, and he's telling them about. He's there to wipe out the like a plague. He's making it sound as though it's like an illness that's going round. Oh, vampirism. Anyway, he says gets his notepad out. Says, "Tell me everything that happened while you were at the castle, and then forget about it. Promise me you'll forget about it." Anywho, right. So here we are at the young ladies' academy that she's going to teach at. Here they are. And they're late, apparently, for reasons that we all know. But apparently the bloke that runs it, her husband, Hare Lang, is a bit of stickler for punctuality. He's a bit of an ogre. Anyway, so they're going to go meet him. There he is. And he says, men aren't allowed here, blah, blah, blah. And he says, I'm a doctor from wherever I'm from. And so that shuts him up. So, oh, super duper. You're welcome here any time, old boy. Anyway, so off he goes. And he's, call back again any time. And I say, yeah, okay, I will. So off he goes, and they go and settle her in. And now we're meeting her, whose name I've forgotten. Where is she? Gina, played by Andre Melli. So she's going to go and settle her into her rooms. Anyway, Peter Cushing does a cool stunt. Does his own stunts, you see. As the carriage rides in, he just jumps out of it as it's still moving. Did a lot of stuff like that. Because he were an action star. Anyway, so he's gone back to the inn. And here we see the priest has arrived, and this is that girl's dad that died, that were killed by the vampire. And he's like, oh, woe is me, and all that, obviously. And the priest is saying, where is she? So we buried her where? In the churchyard, obviously. But no, you can't bury her there because it's consecrated ground and whatever. But she'd not be at peace. You know how she died. So anyway, so he's wondering what to do. But Van Helsing says, I will help you because I'm Van Helsing. Van Helsing. Or the Van Helsing theme from the Hugh Jackman one, which I can't remember what it is. Oh, 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 that one, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, so they're having a chat about vampirism, and they say, get bit by a vampire, you turn into a vampire. None of this, where you've got to drink the vampire's blood to become one. It's just, if you're bitten, you turn into one in this. So anyway, so they've got to sort out this girl where she's buried, because he has a look out the window. It does a bit of more exposition. They cast no reflection, and they don't like garlic and crosses and stuff like that. And it's just something else. This is where he says that sometimes they may turn into bats, which we do see in this film. Anyway, so look out. Obviously, the churchyard, such as it is just outside his window. So they're going to go and wait for her to pop out of her grave. So that's what they're going to do. By the way, it looks like they've done the same, haven't they? The first film did. The graveyard is essentially just the castle set, the interior castle set, just covered in leaves because there's the stairs on the right-hand side. Stick some gravestones in. Berate. And there's Frida Jackson saying, "Are you ready to come out of the grave?" Because I think she's gone crazy as Frida Jackson's character. But she's the familiar of the vampire, but she's acting a bit strange. So anyway, here she comes. She's coming popping out of the grave now. Is the young vampire lady. Here she is. Didn't bury her very deep, did they? Not 6 foot down, is it? Does she have a name? I can't remember. Let's have a look. Does she have a name? Village Girl, Marie Devereaux. I think that's who it is. I don't know. Doesn't have a picture. We'll say it is. Anyway, so there you go. She rises from the grave. He's like, oh, blimey, she's rising from the grave. It shouldn't surprise you, Dr. Helsing. You've seen it all before. But anyway, there she is. It looks very attractive as a vampire, I must admit. It looks a little bit like Jacqueline Pierce from Plague of Zombies. A bit, but as a vampire. Anyway. Right, so the priest arrives and Frida Jackson attacks him. I'll tear your eyes out. And the girl goes running off and Van Helsing goes running after her. But gets attacked by a big fake bat. Here it comes. There it is. Very realistic looking bat. But he fights that off and ends up at the castle somehow. And just walks in as they do. So he's having a shufty around. Got a cross in his hand. He finds the manacle that kept. Why did he just turn into a bat though? Fly away. Maybe he couldn't. Maybe it was silver or something, and he couldn't turn into a bat while he were manacled or something. Because we learn as well that Frida Jackson, I keep forgetting her name, Greta, kept bringing him young girls to feed on. And I thought, are they going to be the Brides of Dracula? We're going to see loads of them in the cellar or whatever, all as vampires. No. I don't know where the Brides of Dracula are in this, to be honest. Unless they're just talking about, the one or two women that we see get changed. Well, there's two, actually. Well, there's three. If you include her, that's just appearing behind me, up there. This is the Baroness. We see that she's a vampire. You can tell something up with her. But he's arrived now. I wonder if he couldn't see either through his contact lenses like Christopher Lee couldn't. But anyway, he's arrived. So he gets his crucifix out and have a bit of fisticuffs. Oh, look through that at him, didn't he? And anyway. So he goes running off into the night, into the carriage. And so he's got to go and see to her now, hasn't he? He has taken the blood of his own mother. Anyway, so he's gonna kill her. Is Van Helsing? Oh, put her out of her misery. Anywho, back at the academy for young ladies or whatever, Frau Lang says, "Hey, somebody here to see you." And we think, oh, it's going to be Van Helsing here to see you, but it's not. There he is. It's the Baron. He's there. And essentially, he proposes to her. They're going to get married. But obviously, Herr Lang doesn't. What do you think you're doing? He's about to kiss her. Or maybe about to bite her, I don't know. But saying, "No, I'll throw you out the window, you young gutter snipe." And all that stuff. Then he says, "You're my tenant, I'm the Baron. I own all this land." And say, "Oh, well, then fair enough. Do what you want." So there we go. That's what he's telling him. So that changes his tune. Anyway, right. So anyway, later that night, that's what he was saying. We're engaged. So she's going to marry the Baron because she doesn't know he's a vampire, obviously. So her and Gina are making some toast in the furnace, and she burns it. Because, there we go, she's burnt the toast. So she says, "I'll go get some more bread, But before she has a chance to before she comes back, there we go, a scary bat's going to come in the window, and it gets Gina. Why? Because she casts no reflection in the mirror, remember? She looks in the mirror, can't see anything there, then she looks round, and he's standing there, all red-eyed and white teeth. And so he's obviously going to bite her. Baronmeister. So Gina's a vampire now. Anywho, so he's gone to there we go. He's gone to see to Baroness Meinster and deals with her, covers her up. I think she wanted him to put her, to end her misery. Yes, poor Jean, and that other girl as well. We'll see them both again. Anyway, so they're having a chinwag about what to do next. Says I've killed the Baroness, but them other two girls still knocking about. But anyway, a doctor's arrived. Dr. Tobler, or Tobler. He's arrived. The fella that was the Undertaker in the other film, with his not a hairpiece, is not well or something. He's wanting, like when you put like Vicks Vapor Rub in a bowl with hot water and use a towel over your head and breathe. He's doing a bit of that. Extract of benzoin or benzoate, I don't know. But he's saying, whatever I do, don't let me out. So she's holding him down and he's screaming and shouting. And anyway, so he said, just do it yourself, you silly old bugger. He's a bit of a quack. And a rip-off merchant as well. He's always on about his fee. But anyway, so he's saying he does all this stuff to keep himself in good health when he's dealing with dead bodies and stuff. Because he's on his way to Badstein. I forgot the name of the town. He's got to go over there because one of the girls at the academy's died. And that pricks up Van Helsing's ears. In a minute. There we go. And he says, oh, was it one of the staff or one of the students? He says, oh, I don't know. He says, do you mind if I join you? He says, would you come for nothing? Yes, I would. And because the priest says, this, he's one of the most eminent medical men in all of Europe. So I said, all right, fair enough, you could come. I will add your fee to my fee. Even though I said he'll come for nothing. As I said, he's a rip-off merchant. Anyway, so there they are. They're there. Poor Gina's not with us anymore, so everybody's sad. And they have a look. He leans over, look, and looks like real hair, that, doesn't it? I don't know. I'm not an expert on toupees. And looks over, see that she's got the, there we go, the puncture marks on her neck. And he thinks it's a bite from a dog or a cat. Says these local people, these villagers, they hug their pets. Obviously, he doesn't believe in vampires. Oh, ridiculous legends. Blah, blah, rhubarb, rhubarb. Anyway, Peter Cushing said, she's got a contagious disease. He died of a contagious disease, so put her in a coffin and keep her in the stables. But lock the door and have two people guarding her at all times. Make sure nobody, tampers with the body. So anyway, she tells him then, does Marianne, that she's engaged to be married. He's like, oh, who with? The Baron Meinster. He's like, what the bloody hell? And then she said, are you happy for me? Of course. And so did he kiss you? Only on the hand. That's why he's checking her hand there. When will he be back? Tomorrow, I hope. Right, so he's going to go get himself his steaks, I imagine. Anyway, so poor Gina's in the stables. That's the stable master, whatever, ostler. I don't know what they call him. And Frau Lang's doing the first shift, looking after Gina's body. The horses are restless and stomping because they don't like being near dead bodies, apparently. And anyway, here comes Marianne saying, now, I've come to relieve you. So off she goes. And there's a cool thing happens here. I really, really like it. And apparently it's based on something I've forgotten. It's in, where have I seen it? Yeah, but the thing with the coffin is padlocked up. And it's based on Count Magnus, from the M.R. James story, which I've not read. I've read some M.R. James, but I haven't read that one. I've seen the BBC version of it, and I don't remember a lock, a padlock dropping off. But anyway, it's a cool little thing. Anyway, right, so they're as they're talking, and we hear a clunk. There we go, and the padlock just drops off thusly. But it's locked. It's still locked, and it takes the stuff. He says, "Oh, it's still locked," and the catch is. You can't see for me, but the catch is still solid and all that. So it's weird. I thought a cool bit of supernatural magic stuff going on, and so they don't know what's happened there. And he says, "Oh, the other one's solid." Gives that a shake, but then that one just drops off. As she's looking, I was going to go and do. I forgot what I was going to go and do. She sends him to do something. I forgot what. Hang on, let me check. Yes, go and get Frau Lang, will you? And he says, "Oh God, he won't like it because he's a grumpy bugger." But anyway, off he goes. There he's saying, "Stop, will you?" He's talking to the horses because they're still stomping and snorting. Right, so off he goes, but then he gets attacked by a bat. There it is. Here comes the bat, and gets killed by the bat. But anyway, as the other padlock just drops off like that. For some reason, I think it's really cool. That I'm easily pleased. And she rises from the grave, the coffin, should I say. There's Gina, all fangs and everything. But Van Helsing arrives just in time, finds the stable chap with his face. There we go. His face all scratched and dead. And she's saying, "Come with us." But Van Helsing comes in and she runs off because he's got his crucifix with him, I think. Has he? I don't know. What's he doing? In he comes. Sees her. I think she just runs off, does she? Yes, she just runs off. Scared of Van Helsing. His reputation must precede him. So he takes her inside and saying, "Gina, it can't be Gina, she were dead." But it's not anymore. She's undead. Anyway. He says, "Where is the Baron?" He says to him, "This Baron's a bad guy. You can't marry him. Where were you going to meet him? Or where is he staying?" And she says, "The old windmill." I thought, yay, like Frankenstein, the universal one. There he is, the cool windmill. So off he goes, looking for the Baron. He doesn't find him. But he does find Frida Jackson in a minute. And there we see some hot coals there for some reason. I don't know what they're there for, but they're there. Keeping nice and hot. So he's having a shufty about. And there you go, he finds a coffin. And who's in there? I think it's the village girl. I think there's nobody in it. Oh, dear. Oh, there they are. She's still laughing her head off. Is Greta, because she's crackers. And they're all... "Take him," she says, because it's action, but he gets his cross out, and they're like, "Ah!" But Greta grabs hold of it. Look, so they have a bit of a tussle, and she chucks herself. She falls down here. Ah! Bang! Head first. I think she's supposed to be dead now. And he's trying to reach. Van Helsing's trying to reach the crucifix, but it drops down. There we go, she lets it go and it drops down to wherever it's gone. I don't know where it's gone, but it's always out of his reach. And the Baron's arrived, all hissing and red eyes. And he picks a chain up. He decides he's going to get him with a chain. There we go. Wrapping a chain round. And so they're having a fight. That's not Peter Cushing, is it? Didn't do that himself, did he? Which surprised me. So they're having a fight. They're watching. But he throttles him. This is the cool throttling scene I mentioned earlier. It does a great throttling scene. You ready? Here it comes. Look. But he don't kill him. But he's going to bite him. And he does bite him. He bites Van Helsing, look, on the neck. Oh, no. Van Helsing's going to be a vampire unless he does something too sweet. So he buggers off then. He thinks, well, he's now one of us. He's now one of my army of the undead, and sods off. So he shoves something in the hot coals, remember. Oh, I also mentioned, I forgot to mention earlier on, we had the priest, earlier on the priest gave him a flask of holy water. I forgot to mention that earlier on. Chekhov's holy water. He gave him that. Anyway, Marianne's back at the academy, and obviously the Baron's about to arrive. She won't see him. He just smashes his way. I don't know why. He just smashes his way through the window. We just hear this. In a minute. Look, she's taking off the crucifix, so she's stupid. In a minute. Come on, man, for God's sake. Gonna get me a bloody copyright. Look, bloody skip. There we go. Just smashes his way through the window. Do you want to be engaged to me now? She's like, blimey, O'Reilly. Anyway, so remember, he's got to sort out his holy water was invented in Russia by a little old lady just outside Minsk. Whatever, yes. So he's got to sort himself out as Van Helsing. They did a similar thing with this in, I think it was in Kiss of the Vampire. So some of the things in this film got sort of like redone, or stuff that were cut from this ended up in Kiss of the Vampire. But they did this in, I think, was it Andrew Keir? In Kiss of the, I can't remember. I'm going to look that up. In Kiss of the Vampire, he does this. He gets bit somewhere. I think it's on his arm though, on his wrist or something, and he burns it. Kiss of the Vampire. I think it's Andrew Keir. Been a while since I've seen it. I might be thinking of a different film. Unless there's two Kiss of the Vampires. No, it is this one. Which is the one with... it's not. No, it's not. No, there's one with Andrew Keir in there. I'm getting them all mixed up. I think it's Clifford Evans. I think. In Kiss of the Vampire. In one of it, it's either that one or the one with Andrew Keir in, where he burns the bite of the vampire. Anyway, he does it in this as well. There we go. He's gonna brand himself. Here it comes. Here it comes. They're building up to it, aren't they? Anyway, there goes. He's burnt himself because he's got to hold on to a rope while he does it as well. We're going to show it, for God's sake. There we go. But it works. I think he took some holy water on him or whatever. And then as we look, it all just disappears like magic, and they're like, what's going on? I don't know why they just stood watching. Why aren't they descending on him? I don't know. But there you go. He's got his little flask of holy water. Look. Anyway, they arrive. Hello, we're home. And all the audience applaud. Beautiful, isn't she? I know it don't say it like that. She's got a clipped British accent. But he doesn't know that he's cured himself. She's going to join us, Doctor. But say, oh no, you're not a vampire anymore. We must fight again. Oh, but then he gets the holy water. He remembers it, and there we go. There we go. In his face, coolness. His face all melting off. It was a bit like V, doesn't it, when the lizard people rip the skin off the faces. Looks a bit like that. Pretty cool. So they're going to have another fight, but then for some reason, they're not, he grabs hold of her, but then for some reason he just kicks over these coals, but doesn't like the outcome. Look, he kicks them over, and then he's like going, well, you kicked them over, mate. Anyway, whatever. Look. So they go running off, and climb down this ladder, but she climbs down the ladder, but not Peter Cushing, leaps onto the windmill vanes. Is that what they're called? I don't know. Whatever the thing on the windmill is, leaps onto that, and it rotates. Look what shape it is. Because meanwhile, Baron Meinster vampire's gone outside, and now he's going to be killed by windmill cross shadow. It's original, I suppose, isn't it? Because that does the trick, kills him, and there we go, and he dies. And they say, Thank goodness that's over. And then the windmill burns down suddenly. I know I kicked over the things. I'm guessing, I don't know what happens with the two vampire ladies. Do they die in the fire, or do they just die when Baron Meister dies? I don't know, but I don't think it showed us. We don't hear them screaming or anything. It just ends as the film. But there we go. There we go. Not as good as Dracula, but worth a watch. Worth a watch, in my opinion. But I'm going to look on the see if it tells us. I've got to look at the plot. See if it tells us. Rum-ti-tum-ti-tum kicks over a blaze of a hot coal, starting a fire, runs outside. As the brides make their escape, Van Helsing runs to the sails, not veins. I'm sure they're called veins, aren't they? Not veins like veins in your arms. Anyway, and moves them to form a shadow of a cross, who is killed by his exposure to the symbol, and that's it, yeah. So his brides have escaped. Will they appear later? Don't know. Justin says, good film. It is a good film. It's actually better than you'd think it is, and it looks really nice. It's a really well shot film, and it's Peter Cushing, and he just adds to any film he's in. I could watch Peter Cushing in anything. He's an amazing, one of my favourite actors of all time. I've seen him in loads of stuff. The Abominable Snowman, top film, really good film, written by Nigel Neal, and it's like I don't know, it's like a Doctor Who episode or something. I don't know, or the X-Files or Star Trek or whatever, where the Abominable Snowman aren't the baddies, but that's another film. Yeah, really, really good film. I liked it. Maybe the girls returned to normal. Maybe they did. That's the hope, isn't it? That they were freed, or maybe they just, I don't know. They were dead, weren't they? So were they just died and gone to heaven? I don't know, but it said the girls made their escape in the plot thing on Wikipedia. So anyway, but it is a good film. Except we can't watch it on streaming in the UK for some reason. Not on Amazon or YouTube, anyway. I haven't checked any of the other streaming services, I don't know, Paramount or that. Well, no, because on Amazon it'd show it, wouldn't it, if it were on Paramount? Because you can get Paramount through, or Shudder, you can get that through Amazon, can't you? So it'd show up on there, wouldn't it? And it doesn't. But you can watch it in America. Winggrace says the girls moved to Mexico and opened a club. All right, fair enough. Called the yeah. Anyway, the one that George Clooney arrives at, and Quentin Tarantino and Harvey Keitel. That club. I'm guessing. Right. So there we go. So that's the end of the Brides of Dracula. That's it. Two great Hammer films, in my opinion. With Peter Cushing just elevating them way above, your regular, low budget horror fare. Well worth a look. I've done something. What have I done? There we go. Stop playing. I'll get a copyright claim. I got a copyright claim, and it was actually blocked for Battle Beyond the Stars today. I did a dispute, and actually the dispute worked, and the blockage, it was blocked in America and Canada. And the blockage was removed for my Battle Beyond the Stars Magnificent Monday. So thank you, Shout Factory. Anyway, yes, good movies. Yes, they are. They're both well worth a watch. I really did enjoy watching them. Right, so we're done and dusted for another week. What's coming up next? On Monday. Where is it? Never put it. Just a minute. On Monday, the sad passing this week of Jim Lovell, the commander from Apollo 13. He passed away this week, so I thought on Monday this week we'd do Apollo 13. Now, there it is. I've got it on HD DVD. I can't play it on anything. But top film from Ron Howard, starring Tom Hanks and Bill Paxton and Gary Sinise and Kevin Bacon, there we go, and Ed Harris, and loads of other people. Great film. So that's what we're doing on Monday. And then next Friday, what shall we do next Friday? I know what we'll do next Friday. No, I haven't decided yet. We will see. We will see. I'll leave it as a surprise. Right, so I'm going to sod off now. I'm going to sod off because I need a drink and I think I need a wee. So thanks, Justin, for the super sticker, and thanks, Win Grace. Hang on. Clint Howard is the biggest star. Yes, he's in it as well, isn't he? As one of the mission control people. Very inspiring event. Yes, good film on Netflix. A documentary on Netflix. Apollo 13. Oh, excuse me. Survival. I watched that yesterday. Oh, excuse me. God, bloody burping. Yes, good thing on Netflix. Apollo 13 Survival. Watch it. It's really good. Yeah, it is really, really good. Anywho, so as I said, thanks Justin for the $5 super sticker. Thanks Win Grace and Adam Gamer and Stream Boo from Twitch. I think that's it. I don't think I had anybody else popping. And congratulations to the 5 people who got free memberships. There we go. I uploaded a song today that I wrote. So that's for members on the channel. For a few days. Anywho. Right, so, and we'll leave it there. We will leave it there. So, thanks for watching. Wherever you are, don't have nightmares. And until next time, I'll see you.